Hello. So for this week on the episode, I want to talk to you about ACL prevention programs, talk to you about the programs that are out there that are research-backed and research-based, as well as the programs that I have that are research-based as well. I just create them differently. So there are a lot of prevention warm-ups that exist. A lot of them have had long-term studies done on them with large groups of girls, female athletes, I should say, that have been proven to decrease the risk of non-contact ACL injuries. I think that they're great for a group setting. I think that they're general enough that they address the main risk factors like quad dominance, meaning your quads are stronger than your hamstrings, the valgus collapse, which is where your knees cave in when you jump, and you mostly jump landings. When there's leg-to-leg dominance issues, meaning one leg is stronger than the other leg, and when there's trunk dominance issues, like especially for females, when they're cutting or they're in athletic movement, a lot of times you're going to see that they don't really have much trunk control and body control, and that leads them to more strain on their knee and their hip joints. So these programs are general, and they address the major risk factors that have been found in research, and I think that they're great. But my issue is that no two athletes have displayed the same imbalances, or the exact same imbalances, I should say, than another. So basically, I've seen a lot of athletes, and obviously I could see more considering I believe in the 10,000 hour rule. And of all the athletes I've seen, none of them have come in with the same exact muscle imbalances. They've come in with the same mechanism of injury, meaning that I've had quite a number of girls tear their ACL from jump landings or jump stops. I've had quite a number of girls and boys tear their ACL from non-contact cutting, pivoting, running, turning and going, those kinds of things. But when you really look at the situation and you really try and identify why it happened, one could have a glute medius weakness, another one could have straight hamstring weakness, another one could have ankle mobility issues. I mean, none of them are the same. They're all over the board, and I think that's why it's so frustrating for practitioners to want to try and stop this epidemic, if you want to call it that, of non-contact ACL tears, especially at a younger age. But the only thing that you can do is address the risk factors, develop the program, and make sure that the girls and boys are doing the proper exercises, not just going through the motions. That's key. They have to make sure they're paying attention to form, and it's more of a quality versus quantity kind of thing. So in ITS, I haven't come up with a warm-up program for group settings yet, but that is in the future. It's definitely something on my to-do list, and for all of you that know my to-do list, that sticky note is somewhere on my desk. It will get addressed. But in the time being, a lot of the times I look at athletes individually when they come in, and I prepare the program according to what imbalances they show me when they come in. Now, you could be a regular athlete coming in with no injury, and I will test you. I'll do a functional movement screen. I'll do an orthopedic eval, and I'll determine what's the best route for you to go. Or you can be an athlete that's 3 months post ACL, and then you've already been the traditional setting, and your quads are probably 99% of the time ridiculous strong, and then we have to play catch up with your hamstrings and your glutes, which is fine. It's traditional. It's normal protocol for ACL programs to just focus on quads. And then you could also be post ACL rehab with me. I've had quite a few of them recently, from literally day 3 all the way through. And if I get those athletes, I do follow the doctor protocol, but I also add in my own things. I know that it's important for the quads to be strong so that the athlete can start walking and the patella is tracking properly. But I also feel like it is a prime opportunity to develop the whole leg, meaning the glutes and the hamstrings, and to give the athlete a more positive success in their return to sport. I do believe that you have to create an overall stronger athlete, not just focus on one muscle group over the others. Because originally, if you think about it, that's what got them in this situation in the first place. Jump landings. Start with feet shoulder width apart, knees in line with your toes, hips at 90, knees at 90. Squat down, chest high, swing your arms back. Explode up, making sure to get full extension in your knees, hips, as well as full plantar flexion in your ankles as you explode up. Come back down, land softly, roll through the landing, toe ball heel with your ankles. A slight bend in the knees, slight bend in the hips, a 90-90, soft landings, chest high, and make sure that the knees aren't caving in. They stay in line with the toes at all times. Good. Resisted bridges. Got to make sure your knees stay in line with your toes. Don't let them cave in. As you bridge your hips up, you push through your heels and push your hips up in the air. You should feel it in your hamstrings and your butt. Straight up in the air, straight down. Again, make sure right hip is rolled forward. Should feel it in your, left hip is rolled forward. Should feel it in your left hip. Make sure you're not pulling it up towards your face either, because that means your quads are taking over. Good. So make sure top hip doesn't roll forward. Make sure that you hold it up for a second and stay in a slow and controlled motion. You should feel it all in your right hip, left hip. Feel a stretch in your right hip? Yeah. Good. Count to like 15. And then you're going to switch legs. And then switch sides. Make sure you feel a stretch in the hip that's on the ground. Good. Lean into it. Make sure you breathe. Okay, so I wanted to introduce some of the ITS athletes, or ACL athletes I should call them, that are training currently at my gym. So first up is Riley. She's about 9 days post her ACL. She's a hamstring graft. She's doing very well. She's at full extension, and we're getting her into flexion now. But her quad is firing nicely, and her leg is getting stronger. She's walking without the crutches, and she is about to get the brace off in about a week and a half, I think the doctor said. So things are well with her. And then we got Maya. Maya is about 7.5 weeks post. She'll be 8 weeks on Tuesday. I'm about to advance her to strength training with the weights. She's doing well. She's almost at full extension. Well, she is at full extension when she's in sitting. It's when she is in standing that she's not, and so that's some hip issues. So we got to balance out her hips. And then there's the Bradford twins. They are both 6 months post. One of them was a meniscus tear, one wasn't, but they're doing well. We're waiting on that brace so I can start them on cutting and jumping and everything. So that's coming up soon. And then there's Logan. He is my only guy right now. He tore his ACL playing lacrosse. He came to me post traditional PT setting, but he went to a PT that I have a lot of respect for. I mean, I have respect for all PTs, but Casey is the man. He knows how to, he and I together can work really well with some ACL athletes. So Logan, my biggest concern with him right now is his hamstring is really weak. He did pull it at one point, to the point that we got some scar tissue in there that I have to work on to get out and strengthen up his hamstring a lot. So I haven't really been able to advance him into jogging yet because of that, but it's coming. And then finally, Brianna came to me as a referral from another ACL athlete. She tore her ACL in January of this year. She had her surgery February 5th. She is coming from a distance from Flushing, Michigan, so it's about an hour and a half away from where I am. So the first 6 weeks of her therapy, she went to the traditional setting. And then once she was given the all clear to travel again, she started coming to work out with me, and it's been full go since. I've loved every minute of working with this young lady. She is genuine. She is real. She works for me when she is focused. I've nicknamed her Squirrel because she has moments where she's ready, and then all of a sudden something will grab her attention, and I gotta get her refocused again. But honestly, I wouldn't give up any of the memories I have with that kid for anything. So here's a little tribute to Bree and her journey, and I can't wait to watch you play in your first basketball game in your senior year this year. I hope you all have a great week. Follow us. I have all kinds of social media. If you want to follow any of these kids on their journey, or see any of the athletes that train at ITS, you can go to my Snap story, or my Snapchat, INV Training, TRAINING, Soul. Twitter account, there's 2 of them, capital INV, capital TRAINING, capital SOL, so Innovate, or INV Training Soul. And then there's the ACL Support Twitter account, so those 2 Twitter accounts are there. Instagram, INV TRAIN SOLS, and then Facebook page, Innovative Training Solutions. See you all next week. Thanks.
I'm finally out the house. Finally.
Good. Stop. Turn around slow. There you go. Come back.